Hello and welcome to Bible Bites Daily. Today we have reached 1 Samuel chapter 3. In this chapter we witness a remarkable story of Samuel's call to become a prophet. This chapter teaches us the importance of listening for God's voice, being obedient to His call and recognizing His presence in our lives. Let us travel through this passage together and draw inspiration from Samuel's faithfulness and responsiveness to God's call. The single important lesson from this chapter is that God speaks to those who are willing to listen and obey. In the quiet of the night, as Samuel lay sleeping in the tabernacle, God called out to him 3 times. Each time Samuel mistook God's voice for that of Eli, the priest. But on the third call, Eli recognized that it was the Lord speaking to Samuel, and he instructed him to respond, "Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening." As we reflect on Samuel's call, let us examine our own willingness to listen for God's voice in our lives. Are we attentive to His whispers, even in the midst of life's busyness and distractions? Samuel's response to God's call is a powerful example of humility, openness, and obedience. Despite his initial confusion, Samuel humbly submitted himself to God's will and responded with readiness to hear what the Lord has to say. May we be inspired by Samuel's example to cultivate a heart that is attentive to God's voice, ready to respond with obedience and humility. Let us create space in our lives for quiet reflection and prayer, where we can listen for the still, small voice of God speaking to us. In this moment, let us bow our heads in prayer, inviting God to speak to us and empower us to respond with openness and obedience to His call in our lives. Thank you for joining us today. May God bless you all in abundance.